Those are your bragging today. NFL wildcard weekend, the most probable upsets. We already gave our predictions. Now I'm going ahead and ranking out of these 6 games. We're going to talk about what I think the games are that will, have the underdog, the dogs, come out on top and win unexpectedly their matchups. Now there's 6 games on wildcard weekend. I have the spreads in front of me. We got it's 1 or 2 games. 2 games look like they're unobtainable. Yet I only have 1 game that I can call a true lock for who will win. And that game will be revealed right now. Smash the like and subscribe button. That game, Steelers-Ravens. I'm sorry. When we're ranking most probable upsets, I just can't see the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Baltimore and beating the Baltimore Ravens. We just saw the Ravens in December, I believe, already have this exact matchup, and they decimated the Steelers. Now, yes, was George Pickens there? No, who cares? 34-17. The Ravens dropped 34 on the Steelers' head. December 21st was not a good Christmas gift to the Steelers fans, man. And without George Pickens that game, the Steelers were down bad on offense, only put up 17. Derrick Henry had 162 rushing yards. The Ravens, I see them winning, man. I see them winning. So that game, out of the picture, not a probable upset. And then it gets interesting. It gets very interesting. We have the Broncos at the Bills, heading to Buffalo. Bills, 8.5-point favorites. You would think that I would say this is not a probable upset as well. But, and it's not. It's not a probable upset. There's a very high likelihood the Bills win. I predicted the Bills to win. I'd be shocked if they didn't. However, yes, the Ravens are number 6 for most probable upsets, and I don't think it's going to happen. But we have such a good set of games that the Bills-Broncos is going to be number 5. And it's not a probable upset. But, don't read into it too much. The fact that they're number 5 doesn't mean that I think the Bills are a lock. I definitely, there's a lot of Bills fans in the comments saying that not Bills, both. There's a lot of both fans. Keep with supporting the videos, man. A lot of Broncos fans down in the comments saying Bo Nix is going to beat Josh Allen. Now, I think you're out of your mind. But I might be starting to become a believer, man. Can Bo Nix outshoot Josh Allen? He's number 5 for a reason, but 8.5 points. People are saying it's possible. Not me, though. Number 4. This is, again, not the most probable upset. I'm going to be going with the Houston. Honestly, this is very interesting. We have the Eagles, who are 4.5-point favorites over the Packers, and we have the Texans, who are underdogs. Do I think the Texans can beat the Chargers at home? The Texans are home underdogs. It's likely. This is where it starts getting more to 50-50. Broncos beating their Bills, it's 15% chance. The Ravens beating the Steelers, it's 100% chance. Now we're getting down to 60-40, 65-35. And realistically, I think the next most probable upset, or the next least probable upset, is going to be the Texans. I'm big on the Chargers, man. The Chargers are my lock of the week. They're 2.5-point favorites on the road heading to Houston. The reason I say that, man, no Tank Dell. The Texans' offense has looked so bad. They lost 31-2 at home. So, you can't say home field advantage when they got smacked around by the Ravens. The Chargers could have beaten that same Ravens team if J.K. Dobbins didn't get injured that game. They only lost by 1 score. Every game where J.K. Dobbins has been healthy, the Chargers' offense has looked like a whole new team. Ladd McConkey is the GOAT for that Chargers team. The Chargers are in a decent spot, man. And I'm going with the Chargers to win this one. And I know it might be ambitious saying it's almost like a lock, number 4, but we got a good slate of games. So I'm going Chargers. It's pretty likely they'll win, even though the spread suggests otherwise. And then we have the Eagles and Packers. So this is one where it's a bit more 50-50. The Packers are 4.5-point dogs on the road in Philly. Now, I think that the Eagles win this one, but the reason it's number 3, and really it was the toss-up between who's more likely to win, the Eagles or the Chargers. I think the Chargers are a bit more likely. The Eagles are a better team. They're one of the best teams in the NFL. I'm a bit concerned. Now, we saw this game week 1. Week 1 of the NFL season, the Eagles-Packers played in Brazil, and, A.J. Brown had 120 receiving yards and a touchdown. But really, it came down to Saquon Barkley having 3 touchdowns, man. Saquon Barkley carried the Eagles to a victory, 34-29 in Brazil. And I don't know. The reason I'm skeptical, the Jalen Hurts concussion, he hasn't played in a little bit. The fact that when Jalen Hurts has been healthy, the receiving game still doesn't look good. Let's not forget the drama. Oh, I'm a crybaby. Sorry. Eagles, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, drama, right? A.J. Brown wasn't getting the ball enough. He's not wrong. Like when I say he was a crybaby, like he's right. Jalen Hurts just wasn't passing the ball. But the thing is, the Eagles didn't necessarily need to, and they still don't. Saquon Barkley is basically single-handedly carrying this team to wins every single week on the offensive side of the ball. The Eagles' defense is very, very good, which is why I think that they are definitely probably going to beat this Packer team, and why the spread is what it is, especially with no Christian Watson. Jordan Love is banged up. So I think the Eagles should win this one easily, but it's got to be number 3 on the upset list. The Packers, they don't have an alpha receiver. Jaden Reed's explosive. Romeo Dobbs is explosive. So, it's kind of a hot or cold situation. If Saquon Barkley isn't on, then do I trust Jalen Hurts to come in there with his melted brain and sling the ball around? Honestly, I think that the Eagles would be okay in that situation. It just wouldn't be ideal. So I do trust Jalen Hurts to be able to elevate this team offensively with his arm, but it would kind of be a make or break situation, especially if Jaden Reed catches fire like he did the first time against the Eagles when he had 140 receiving yards and a touchdown. So this game's a bit closer than people think, I believe. I'm still thinking Eagles win this one, though, so that's why it's number 3. Now we have 2 games. The most probable upsets, boys. Guess what? Most probable upsets? More than probable upsets. Give me the dogs in both of these matchups. I believe the underdog, the team that's projected to lose by Las Vegas, I think they win both of these games. And those 2 games are. Which one is most probable? That is the real question right here. I have my answer. And I don't have my answer. I have my answer. The second most probable. So this is not the most probable. I'm going with the Rams. The Minnesota Vikings are on the road. They had an embarrassing loss against Detroit. Now they face the Los Angeles Rams and Matthew Stafford in Los Angeles. Yes, the Vikings are 14-3 and the Rams are 10-7. But the Rams just had a bye week. The Rams had a bye week, and the Vikings are on a low. Jefferson had 3 catches on 10 targets. The Vikings offense looked really, really bad. Sam Darnold is very streaky. Sam Darnold doesn't even know what version of Sam Darnold we're going to see in this playoff game. Whereas Matthew Stafford is consistent, boys. We know what Stafford we're going to get. The only thing that can impact what Stafford we're going to get is if the Rams offensive line cannot protect him. If the Rams O-line holds up, the Rams win this game, and that's why I predict the Rams to win this game in it's going to be close. It's going to be a close game, which is why the Rams are 1.5-point dogs. But I like the Rams odds, and that's why it's the second most probable upset. The Rams played the Vikings. This exact game happened Thursday Night Football. Puka Nacua was hurt, and he came back from injury, limited snap count, 7 catches, 110 yards. Rams won 30-20 on Thursday Night Football. And that was, basically the beginning of November. So it's a rematch. It's a rematch. The Rams did it once. I see them doing it again. Now, the most probable upset is the Washington Commanders on the road in Tampa Bay. Honestly, most probable, this might be like 50-50. So, honestly, both of these, the Rams, Vikings, and the Commanders, Buccaneers, it's very, very close. It was close to choose between the Commanders and the Rams. Which one's more probable? I'm going with Washington. Now, Washington is 3-point dogs on the road. Now, keep in mind, they're on the road, and I understand why they're dogs. This matchup happened week 1, and the Buccaneers smacked Jaden Daniels around 37-20, and really they smacked the defense around because Jaden Daniels had 0 touchdown passes, but in his first start, he was 17-25, 185 yards passing, 88 yards rushing for 2 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield threw for 4 touchdowns, though. Now, what kind of a Baker Mayfield are we going to see? Baker Mayfield is hot and cold, but a lot more times than not, Baker Mayfield has looked very, very good this season. I predict that the Washington Commanders can win this game in a shootout. The reason being, I like the Commanders' defense to not break as much as the Buccaneers' defense. I think the Buccaneers' defense is more malleable. Their secondary is more malleable. I think the Commanders are, potentially the better offense, especially. I think Jaden Daniels can kind of take this game over a little bit more than Baker Mayfield can, especially the way we saw this Buccaneers offense look a few weeks back against the Cowboys, which is why I think the most probable upset will be Commanders over Buccaneers, closely followed by the Rams over the Vikings. Who's with me? Smash the like and subscribe button, boys. Comment down below your predictions on Wildcard Weekend. Thanks for watching.